And of the 2.6 million people who cast their vote in North Carolina's early voting, 26% were African American, and that is up from 17% in 2004. So how big of a role will race play in the final outcome? Joining me now is Bishop T.D. Jakes, pastor and CEO of the Potter's House, a multiracial, non-denominational church with 50-plus active outreach ministries, and the founding executive director of Voto Latino, Maria Teresa Peterson. Welcome both.
Thank you, Nora.
Bishop, let me start with you. I mean, we've already seen in North Carolina 26% were African American in that early voting. Huge African American turnout in early voting in a state like Georgia. Will this be a record year, and how's that going to affect the outcome in your mind?
In my mind, I think it has a whole lot to do with it. I think that there's going to be a tremendous influx of African Americans who are highly motivated to come out and vote. I think in part it's going to be due to the economy and the challenges that minorities are facing in this country at this time, with the loss of houses, the loss of jobs, and a serious need to really see someone grab the helm of this country who is sensitive to their needs. I think it really goes deeper than their affinity for another African American or a person of color, but really down to the issues that will propel minorities forward for the next 4 years.
According to our last NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, Obama has done well among all racial lines. African Americans, he gets 90% of the vote. Among whites, he's trailing John McCain by just 12 points. And Maria, I want to ask you about this. This is significant because many people don't remember this, but John Kerry lost the white vote by 17 points in the 2004 election. If Obama does better than John Kerry did among whites, what will that tell us?
I think it tells us that we're realigning, and folks basically they're tired of fighting in Washington. They actually want someone that's consensus building, and Obama really represents that. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is a watershed moment for the Latino community, because they're participating in record numbers. The fact that 90% of them want to cast their vote. I mean, in my own personal family, my grandmother, my cousin are casting their vote for the very first time. This is cross-generational, Nora, and it's exciting. But what it means also is that for the very first time among the Latino community, this is going to be the very beginning of participation. The reason that that Arizona, Virginia, North Carolina, even Georgia are in play are in large parts because of the demographic shifts, and because the Latino vote is very much driving that vote. So in order for the Democrats to solidify that vote, they have to make sure that they put Latinos in prominent positions, whether it's in the cabinet, whether it's in congressional seats. Conversely, the Republican Party has to take a very close look at the demographic changes, because the Latino vote combined with the African American vote constitutes close to 25% of the electorate. This is history in the making, but it's not done yet, Nora.
And Bishop, let me ask you about race in this campaign. The Bradley factor, which some people have talked about, of course, of the former Los Angeles City mayor who ran for governor of California, that it's named after. Do you think we will see the Bradley factor, whereas some people say that they will vote for an African American, but when they go inside the poll, they don't vote for an African American? Does that exist today, or is that a phenomenon that it's 20 or 30 years old? It
absolutely exists today, and I think it will continue to be a relevant perspective that we have to consider. But the good news is, by and large, it has been proven both in the primaries and from the looks of how things turned out in Iowa, that people will actually follow through. Caucasians will follow through on a decision to vote for an African American, and I think it has really changed the playing field, not only for news commentators, but just for African Americans in general, who themselves are shocked to find out that the vast majority of Americans are ready to move beyond race. There will always be pockets of people who will make decisions based on external premises that are really irrelevant, but the vast majority of Americans are really ready to move beyond and listen at the plans, the policies, and the procedures of the next CEO of our nation.
Well, it sure is exciting to watch today as America votes. Bishop T.D. Jakes and Maria Teresa Peterson, thanks so much to both of you. Great to have you on.
Thanks for having us, Nora.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you.